require you to stretch yourself into unknown territory. But that, my friend, is how you grow. You are making decisions all day long. Decisions about what to eat, what to wear, who to call. Decisions about how to spend your time and who to spend it with. Or how to spend your money and what to spend it on. If just for today, you stopped before every decision and checked in with yourself and let your dreams lead the way, what would change and what could be possible for you? I'm Beth Larson, host of the Flourish Frequency Show. Join me every third Thursday at 11 a.m. Pacific Time, or visit my website, bethlarsoncoaching.com, for archive shows and more information to tune you into your personal Flourish frequency.
Welcome to Passion of the Soul with me, Elena Lieberman, the new power hour for your consciousness. This is the space where you awaken to your authentic potential, the truth of who you really are. Here, we open the mind and heart and tune into the essence of the soul, the force that fuels your entire being and invites miracles into your life. Each episode inspires you to respond to the layers of potential within you and bring your unique legacy into the world. As you listen and watch, you'll discover that you can be the answer to your own quest. Get ready to tune into your innermost voice and live in alignment with your highest truth. Passion of the Soul starts now. Welcome, everyone. I'm your host, Elena Lieberman, and you are listening to Passion of the Soul on Transformation Talk Radio. Stay with us this hour and let us help you experience the new power hour for your consciousness every first and third Thursday of the month, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. We will have some of the most brilliant visionaries, healers, artists, and authors who have walked miraculous journeys inspiring you. Tonight is episode 13. The body remembers. The body transforms. A somatic path to transformation. Discover the freedom and wholeness of body, mind, and spirit. Jackie Neureuter, our guest tonight, believes that movement has the power to heal and transform life. In fact, movement is the thread that weaves life together. Well, Jackie has loved movement her whole life. She had an outstanding yoga practice, and she taught, and then that led her to Middle Eastern dancing and belly dancing, which led her to Feng Shui, which is movement in energy. And after that, she found her true love, heart-to-heart, Argentine tango. So that's part of her journey. But most people did not realize that Jackie experienced muscular pain most of her life. Many people didn't even know about it, including me. Her quest for finding natural relief led her to the powerful healing modalities that she teaches and practices today. Tonight, Jackie Neureuter delves into the significant therapies that have restored vibrant, dynamic living to herself and her clients. Welcome, Jackie.
Well, thank you so much, Elena. That was such a powerful introduction. I hope I can live up to what you've shared for me. This is such a lovely privilege to be here today, and I think it's what you're doing with this show is just really incredible.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, what's more Give us some of the details of your personal journey with this, and how does movement really have the power to transform life in a broader sense?
Actually, I'd like to start with a quote from Einstein. I know that sounds pretty heavy, but he said, "Nothing happens until something moves." And he was talking about the vibrational energy of the universe, and that there's always movement happening. There's always movement happening in our bodies. And there's a static movement, or being static is just a very temporary situation, but creating change in one's life, um, you have to break your own habitual patterns. And I feel that that's where a movement has helped me to break my
Oh,
patterns from early childhood and growing up and so forth. So I just have become, I feel, a lifelong learner and curious about modalities that will be transformative. And so that's where I started. And you shared a little bit of my earliest journey. So I started after high school. I didn't go right to college. So I decided to join the YMCA and learn to
ha,
swim.
ha.
And swimming was like really fluid. I mean, it was great, but I took all the lessons for swimming. And then water ballet showed up. Oh,
Oh,
I'd love to do that. And then other things were happening at the Y, and that was yoga. And yoga was pretty new at that time. So that's where I began my yogic journey. And that really has been a incredible journey, because it really led me to, while I was born into a Christian family, I started to explore other religions and philosophies and other modalities. I just wanted to learn how other people saw life and experienced life. And so Hinduism, Buddhism, philosophy, psychology, all of these things lit up my brain, so to
yeah,
speak. And so all these different spiritual studies were combined also with travel, because I did a lot of travel in different countries of the world. And again, rubbing shoulders with different kinds of people, indigenous people as well as, people in the limelight. So it was just a wonderful journey. And that led me to, of course, all the philosophy, sociology, anthropology. I started studying these things in college as well. And then another thing happened at the YMCA. And that was this Middle Eastern belly dancing was being offered. And I thought, oh, that's interesting. So a friend and I started taking classes. And of course, with anything, I just kept diving in further. And so pretty soon I was teaching for my teacher. And then I took it to the community college and I was teaching there. So it was like a big phase at that time. So from there, it was turned out that I was introduced to a woman who was training to be a body, mind, movement therapist.
oh, oh,
And so she decided to start a dance company as part of her training. And so that's where I became invited into this training, or this dance company, which we became known as the Near East Heritage Dance Theater. And I performed with them for 20 years until we finally ended. In fact, you can even find on YouTube some of our videos.
that's
The Near
amazing.
East, the Near East Heritage Dance Theater. So folk dancing, belly dancing, ancient Egyptian, very interpretive dancing, improvisational dance. So it was very intriguing. Now, I was doing other things to make money. Like
Oh,
I was a professional recruiter, and that's what I did. And that really was helping people move into new careers. So their movement was showing up there, but that was not my passion. I
no.
really didn't find that to be the most passionate thing in my life. So that's why I was always looking for other things. And that's where feng shui came along. And of course, I didn't just have somebody consult for me. I started to study and then just really studied for many years. And then I took that to the community college because that became a very popular thing at some point.
Hmm.
So I was teaching in several community colleges, and as you said, it's about the movement of energy and about having the support of your environment around you that can help you in terms of your own well-being, spiritually, as well as helping you to really enhance your life in many, many different ways. So all the things that I touched into were body, mind, and spirit. It didn't matter. They all encompassed aspects of that.
I have to interject, Jackie. How did you get to tango after all these things and all the dancing that you did?
Yeah. Well, when the company folded, finally the leader moved away. I just joined some salsa dancing, and then a friend said, "You should try tango." And I thought, "Oh, I can't do another thing." And then I started, and then I got hooked. It was hard. It was really
It
hard
was
because
hard, yes.
I was before in a company, dancing with others or dancing myself for others. But this was like being the follower. And
Hold that thought, Jackie. We're going to have to take a break, but I
okay,
have to tell you something funny. There was a Hispanic woman who used to be in the Akashic Records, and she would look at you and say, "You may think you tango, but you don't know tango." She, she
that's
was saying
true.
that.
That
So
is
it's time to go on a break, but before
okay.
we do, I want to give everyone the full information for getting in touch with Jackie Newreuter. I want her information because she's going to tell you about how she came to find her first healing modalities after our break, eye rest and Nidra meditation and the history. So go ahead, Jackie, and give your information if people want to work with you for the healing. And then it sounds like, do you still give tango lessons?
I don't give tango lessons. That was the Middle
The
Eastern lesson.
past, the Middle
Yeah.
Eastern, okay.
I'm still training in tango, as you said. Yeah. No, so my website is harmoniouspathways.com.
harmoniouspathways.com. And I'm Elena Lieberman, your host. To contact me, go to dynamicmanifestation.com/connect. I'd love to hear from you. You're listening to Passion of the Soul with Elena Lieberman. And when we come back, we're going to be discussing the powerful healing modalities and results of eye rest and Nidra meditation and the history. Looking for inspiration that awakens your soul? Join me, Elena, on Passion of the Soul every first and third Thursday, 5 p.m. Pacific, on Transformation Talk Radio. I interview brilliant creators, artists, healers, and visionaries. Visit my website, dynamicmanifestation.com. Passion of the Soul, where your truth comes alive.
What else can be done to improve the quality of behavioral health care? Well, tune in to the Wellspring Behavioral Health Transformation with me, Brian Jones, for conversations that inspire new ideas for building better spaces of healing and care with experts who are reshaping the future of behavioral health facilities. Contact me directly at bhsme.org to stay connected and help you one-on-one to transform the healing facilities and the care that we give. Together, we can tap the Wellspring and make a lasting impact.
Are you ready to get big and live your life out loud? Tune in to Get Big Out Loud Radio, exploring life through the lens of curiosity and compassion, with me, Carrie Knudsen, joining Dr. Pat live every second Monday at 10 a.m. Pacific on TransformationTalkRadio.com. I will offer ideas to transform what you are thinking into conscious action. If you want to get big and live your life out loud, visit me at KnudsenSpeaks.com.
There is more to life than simply surviving or even thriving. There's flourishing. High performance and quantum success coach Beth Larson helps you calibrate and elevate your life. Beth specializes in working with women who want more from their life, more energy, joy, passion, connection, and more meaning. As your coach, she will help you get clear about your life, prioritize what's important, and become a master of your energy. Visit BethLarsonCoaching.com.
Are you feeling stuck, drained, or disconnected from your true self? Join Manon DeBerich and Dr. Pat on Aligned Energy, where ancient wisdom meets modern health and wellness. Tune in every second Thursday at 11 a.m. Pacific on Transformation Talk Radio. Discover how energy awareness and alignment can help you reclaim your power, vitality, and purpose. For more information, visit AlignedEnergyHealing.com and start your journey today.
We're back on Passion of the Soul. I'm your host, Elena Lieberman. Our guest tonight is Jackie Neureuter, who has been working in some wonderful healing meditations and movement meditations. So, Jackie, tell us about some of these modalities. What is eye rest and Nidra meditation?
Okay, it's essentially based on the ancient practice of yoga nidra. Yoga means yoking or uniting, and nidra literally means sleep. So it's often referred to as the sleep of the yogis. It's a state of going into deep sleep that we do or should do each night. And but that's the deepest state of meditation. And so eye rest is actually coined by a psychologist, Richard Miller, and he brought Yoga Nidra to the military during 2005, I think it was, all the wars, and they started to use it for military people that were coming back from these wars and the traumas that they've been in. So, so he coined it iRest, short for integrative restoration. So it's about integrating and creating wholeness again. And that's what this practice does. And so I trained in this, and then in the training, I had no idea where I was going to take it, but I was given the opportunity to start working with veterans. And so that's where I did a lot of the work for about 8-10 years. We formed a not-for-profit, the Veterans Restorative Project, and I was working with what's called Gold Star families, for example, Vietnam, as well as those coming back from war right then. But Gold Star families, well, I have one now that I still work with in my public class, and that is a family that's lost their loved one in the war. And it's been a real healing journey for them to stay with it. They've done other type of psychotherapy, but they stay with their iRest because it's just such an important part of their lives. And then I also worked with a woman, Maria. She was a silver star. Now, silver star is different. In her situation, her son came back and he did not hold on to his life. He actually committed suicide.
Oh,
That was just a really traumatic thing for her. But she claims that IRES really helped her to heal and create wholeness. So I don't work just with veterans. I work with all kinds of people, but that's where I got my start, and it really is available and beneficial for all kinds of people.
is this a permanent treatment or do they keep doing it?
Well, it's like any other type of meditation. Yeah, you have to continue to do it and practice it, but you learn a toolbox of different practices such as breathing and sensing that help you when you need them in your everyday experience.
Well, that's amazing. And it's in a group that really needs it, very traumatized people. So that's terrific. Now, you have another healing, you have a few healing practices. You have a healing practice that includes Hana Somatics. Now, what is this? How does it help people's lives?
Okay, so Hannah Somatic educate. Well, we've got an epidemic of chronic pain in our world and in our country. 100 million people suffer from chronic pain just in this country. And so Hannah Somatics was developed by Thomas Hanna. And the whole concept is somatics is sensing from the inside
Huh.
what you're experiencing. And it's an integration of mind and body, and it's certain gentle integrative movements that you can do and learn to do and use in your everyday life, similar to the iRest in terms of having a toolbox that you can do it while you're seated, while you're standing, while you're lying down in bed. So these movements actually are unique in that they use something called pandiculation. Pandiculation is like contracting into a muscle and then a very slow release so that you lengthen into its natural tonus. And so what he did was he studied animals.
Huh.
All animals use this technique. So anybody that's listening that has dogs or cats, particularly cats, you see how they move into these contorted movements. What they're doing, especially when they come out of a nap, they have this involuntary, just it's almost like a yawn. It's almost like when you wake up in the morning and you just think, oh, I want to stretch. You think it's a stretch, but you're actually releasing those tense joints and muscles. And so that's the practice. It helps to relieve pain, restore natural patterns of muscle and posture. And I have been a recipient of it because I came to it through my chiropractor.
Whoa.
She said to me one day, because I was going to the chiropractor all the time. And she said, I want you to stop thinking that you are out of alignment and that in fact have tense muscle. And she said, here's a book I think you should start to read. Well, there you go. Read a
Oh, that was the book.
and then dive into it. And I discovered the trainings, and then I just said, oh, this is for me. And it's made all the difference in the world. I have had this SI joint and shoulder problems for decades, and now I can keep them under control. Now I can be relieving of my own pain, and then I can help others as well, which I really, really just love to do.
Well, that's wonderful. Where did you go on to study that after the book you read that the chiropractor
Yes,
gave you?
yes, yes.
Where
Yes.
where did you study that?
Well, initially I studied with clinical somatics. It's an online course. And then I studied with the Nevada Institute where Thomas Hanna created the training originally. So that's where, in fact, I'm still involved with them. I'm on the training committee for them. And I also am involved with the Association for Hannah-Semitic Education. We call it education because we're educating individuals to become empowered to do their own healing.
Yes,
They don't
very
need
important.
us to continue. Yeah. So actually both of these modalities, IREST and Hannah-Somatics, are similar in that respect.
Well, we're going to take a break right now because when we come back, Jackie is going to lead us in a movement meditation for healing and wellness. So it's going to be great. I'm Elena Lieberman. You're listening to Passion of the Soul. Stay tuned, and we'll be right back. Looking for inspiration that awakens your soul? Join me, Elena, on Passion of the Soul every first and third Thursday, 5 p.m. Pacific, on Transformation Talk Radio. I interview brilliant creators, artists, healers, and visionaries. Visit my website, dynamicmanifestation.com. Passion of the Soul, where your truth comes alive.
Tired of feeling exhausted as a parent? I would love to help you with a new vision for yourself that is focused on intentional wellness parenting. My name is Aurelie Cormier, and I have over 40 years' experience with complex cancer patients. I offer consultations, coaching, and educational programs for parents who want to boost their health and reduce risk of disease, especially cancer. For more information, go to aureliecormier.com.
Are you ready to listen to your soul? Discover the power of pausing and turning in on Our Soul Whisper with Kathy Belmont and Dr. Pat. This sacred show offers a safe space for self-discovery, healing, and soulful transformation. Let your inner voice rise, be heard, and gently guided into expression. Tune in every first and third Wednesday at 11 a.m. Pacific on Transformation Talk Radio. Subscribe now so you never miss the whisper meant just for you. Visit OurSoulWhisper.com.
You're thinking your purpose in life? Become a certified hypnotherapist and regressionist today. Bryn Blankenship is a renowned certified master hypnotherapist, international instructor, and author. In addition to her own show, Afterlife Teacher, Soul Lessons Bringing You Full Circle, Bryn is a popular radio show guest who speaks about her soul expression spiritual regression, her transformative method for finding and following your soul's guidance. For more information on her hypnoregression and afterlife regression certification programs, visit brynblankenship.com.
Welcome to Shanti Mission, a school for the soul. If you're seeking personal transformation, deeper spiritual awareness, sacred music, or the support of a welcoming community, Shanti Mission offers signature workshops and healing programs in a warm and inclusive space, designed for growth and connection. For more information and to access free resources, visit shantimission.org. Together, we can anchor peace.
We're back on Passion of the Soul. I'm your host, Elena Lieberman, and I am absolutely thrilled to have Jackie Neureuter as our guest tonight. Right now, Jackie is going to lead us in a movement meditation for healing and wellness. So please join us.
All right. So I recommend that you be seated in a chair. If you choose not to do this, that's fine. But Seated in a regular straight chair would be helpful. So the first thing you're going to do is, well, I find that so many people have issues with their shoulders and their neck. And so that's what I'd like to lead you through, some movements here. So to start with, just begin to tilt your head to the right. Just not as far as you can go, but just a little bit. And then come to center. And then a little bit to the left. And then back to center. Now, your job is to stay in comfort. If you run into discomfort, into pain, you need to back off, do less, or do it in your imagination, which equally well works well because we're working in the brain for these movements. Okay, so do that again. Tilt your ear towards your right shoulder or one of your shoulders, and back to center, and then to the opposite shoulder, and then back to center. And here you're working to gain some biofeedback. Which direction felt easier? Which was harder? So whichever was the easy side, I'd like you now to turn to the opposite direction, about an inch or two to that side. In fact, no, what I'm going to ask you to do is just really turn your head to the left. That'll keep it easier. And then you're going to start to glide your right shoulder up towards the back of your head. And you're going to slightly tilt your face up towards the ceiling. So you're like looking up at the corner of the ceiling, and hold that for a moment and breathe. You're going to continue to hold, but a little bit less, and 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 feel the lengthening in that muscle. And let's do that one more time. Turn your head to the left. Begin to glide your shoulder up towards the back of your head. Slightly tilt your head back. Breathe. Continue to breathe throughout, and then start to hold a little bit less, and a little bit less, and a little bit less, and continue to release until there's no residual tension, and come to rest. And now let's do it to the opposite side. So now you're going to turn an inch or two to the right. You're going to start to lift your left shoulder towards the back of your head. You're going to lean your head slightly back, and you're going to look up at the ceiling. And you're going to feel that contraction and hold and breathe. Continue to hold, but hold a little bit less, and control that release all the way out. This is what I mentioned earlier about how the animals release their tense muscles in this fashion and come back to center. And once again, turn your head slightly to the right. Start to lift your left shoulder towards the back of your head and lean your face looking up at the ceiling. And then slowly release. Slowly allowing everything to come back to neutral, or maybe a new neutral, because that's what happens. And then just notice and just do a little jiggle with your shoulders. And now I'd like to end with this portion with a simple movement integration. So if you could put your hands together like in prayer fashion, your elbows are out to the sides. And you're going to start to lift your arms, your fingers up towards the ceiling, and your elbows up. And then you're going to start to curl your fingers. So the back of your fingers come together, and your elbows come out to the side, and you're like diving down with your fingers. And notice how that is moving your whole shoulder girdle. Let's try that again. Bringing your fingers up, your elbows out to the side, coming up. Start to curl your fingers and start to dive and feel your shoulders and shoulder blades in back, moving, and then slowly come to rest. And just now sense. Close your eyes if you'd like to have a soft gaze, whichever works for you. And start to sense how your neck and shoulders feel. Just notice if there's any change. And then begin to sense into your face and your jaw. Notice any tensions in your jaw, around your eyes. These are areas that hold a lot of tension. Can you feel back behind your eyes? And sensing any tensions in your forehead, your temples. And then moving down to your ears. Can you open your ears to sounds? Sounds in the room, outside the room, even sounds in your own body. And now just allow those sounds to come to you. Bring your full presence here, now, in your body, into your neck and shoulders, and sensing down a flow of energy down your arms. A ball of energy that rolls into your palms of your hands. And can you feel the aliveness, tingling of energy and aliveness in your hands? And then bring your attention down into your belly. Can you feel the soft movement of your belly as you breathe? Your inhalation and your exhalation. And then sensing into your pelvis. Can you feel how your sit bones are resting on that surface wherever you are? Perhaps if you have a back to your chair, you feel that as well. Really open your awareness. Open your awareness to sensations. Perhaps feeling the back of your thighs. And then all the way down into your feet. If your feet are planted on the floor or if they're resting somewhere, can you feel the aliveness in the soles of your feet? These are sensitive areas, your feet, your hands, your lips. And now, can you open your awareness to your whole body? Can you feel your whole body as one wholeness, one whole radiance of sensation and aliveness? And as you rest here, can you feel that sense of groundedness? Can you feel a sense of being supported, at ease? Can you open yourself to the feeling of this quality of being? When you're just being, is there anything needed in order to be? Is there anything you need to know in order to be? Is there anything lacking when you're just being? Or is being already whole, complete, just as it is? And perhaps even opening to the feeling of well-being, where nothing is needed, where everything is pretty much okay, just as it is. And if it's helpful, you might recall a time, a place, an experience when you have felt totally at ease, perhaps at peace, perhaps a feeling of harmony, a feeling of safety. So this practice of eye rest, yoga nidra, is like peeling away layers of habitual holding patterns, physical, emotional, cognitive, your thoughts, your feelings. So by peeling away all of these things, we come to a very core of our being that has never been hurt, isn't broken, and doesn't need fixing. So take a moment to sense now again the chair beneath you, the surface wherever you are. Maybe you're lying down, and that's perfectly a beautiful way to do this as well. So taking your time coming back, and perhaps if anything felt really, really good here, maybe a moment of thankfulness for taking this little interlude of movement and sensing and peeling away tensions that are not needed, so that you can feel more of that wholeness that is your true nature. Thank you.
Thank you, Jackie. That was absolutely wonderful. I feel so much more space in my being as you introduce the authentic self. So please, we're going to take a break. And before we do, I would love to have you give your contact information so that people who are in pain or any kind of suffering can really work with you and feel their own presence again and their true authentic self, which is their essence, which is a state of being. And this is terrific work. So please give your information so people can have private consultations as well as go to your classes.
Oh, thank you so much, Elena. So my website is harmoniouspathways.com.
Well, I'm Elena Lieberman with Passion of the Soul, and we're going to take a quick break right now. And when we return, we're going to hear a new healing modality that Jackie does called pain reprocessing therapy. So we'll find out all about that. We'll be right back. Looking for inspiration that awakens your soul? Join me, Elena, on Passion of the Soul every first and third Thursday, 5 p.m. Pacific, on Transformation Talk Radio. I interview brilliant creators, artists, healers, and visionaries. Visit my website, dynamicmanifestation.com. Passion of the soul, where your truth comes alive.
What if Sanctuary wasn't just a place, but a way of living? Tune into the Sanctuary Network every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern with me, Mary Ellen Popick, for inspiring conversations featuring thought leaders, healers, authors, and everyday seekers. Plus, voices from the Sanctuary Marketplace, spotlighting the community that makes this movement thrive. This isn't just a show, it's your sanctuary. Visit thesanctuarynetwork.com for more information.
Available now, Ascendancy Awakened by Pankaj Singh. Surprising Way to Successes by Leaders Unleashing Potential and Taking Command. When was the last time you checked in with yourself? Leadership isn't just about confidence, it's about overcoming burnout, responsibility, and unseen challenges. Ascendancy Awakened delivers a powerful framework to help you take command of your life and career with the Ascendancy Action System, a transformational approach to unlocking your full potential. Don't wait. Get your copy today. Visit singpowerupcoach.com now.
I'm Tristan, a shaman, astrologer, and human design reader. I help unravel spiritual ideas to create change and growth in your life. Whether you are just beginning or need a knowledgeable best friend with the next phase of your journey, I'm here to help. Think of me as your pragmatic shaman bestie. I work with high-vibe, lovely people like yourself in personalized sessions that will leave you with a sense of clarity that energizes you to make impactful change. Connect with me, your pragmatic shaman bestie, at musingsandmodalities.com.
Do you want to become a host? Start your own podcast to inspire, persuade, and influence others on what you're passionate about? At the Transformation Network, we can help make your talk radio dreams happen. Let's take your hopes, dreams, and passions and put them on air today. Email us at host@transformationtalkradio.com to learn more about becoming a host of your very own show.
Welcome back. I'm Elena Lieberman with Passion of the Soul, author of Dynamic Manifestation as Received Through the Akashic Records. And you know, I was just mentioning to Jackie that a lot of the work in the Akashic Records, or focus I should say, is about becoming your authentic self, which ties into your essence, who you truly are in your being, which then leads to actions. But just being, accepting yourself without judgment, is one of the keys to manifestation and a much deeper happiness within your life. So Jackie has really given us a wonderful, wonderful way to get very deeply in touch with ourselves. And she told me that she has veterans who just stay with her to do these meditations. It means so much to them year after year. So Jackie has a newer technique now that she facilitates called pain reprocessing therapy. So Jackie, what is this and what does pain reprocessing mean? It's an unusual name.
I know it sure is. And we shorten it with saying PRT because it's a long name to begin with. So it's a different way to understand pain, to retrain your pain brain, your brain pain centers. Because what's been discovered, I guess 65 years ago, scientists discovered that where pain happens is really in the brain. Yes, we feel sensations in our bodies due to some trauma or injury or post-surgery or whatever it may be. But the pain that is happening is being stimulated into the brain centers, like the amygdala and other areas around that. So this is a way to see your pain not necessarily as a sign of damage, but as an opportunity to maybe to really explore the pain, particularly because what happens is oftentimes you have an injury, you've had surgery, and then the pain lingers on. When it lingers on for more than 2, 6 months, a year, that's real chronic pain. And so it turns out that that oftentimes the injury has already been healed, but the brain has not gotten the message. It's gotten stuck. So it's that blockage. It's that habitual pattern in the brain that's gotten stuck. So so this helps you to learn how the pain can be softened and eased, and in many cases reduced and even resolved. So there's been incidences where people have herniated discs, spinal stenosis, degenerative disc disease, and it's showing on all the tests, but they don't have any pain. And then there's other people that have, it's showing on the test and they have pain. So what's the difference? And so I'd like to share actually a little history behind it. It started with Dr. John Sarna. I don't know if you've heard of him, in the early 1990s. And he was showing the relationship between the mind and the body to healing pain. And so his work was studied, and others have taken it further. And so so I'd like to share a few examples of how this actually can play out. There was a construction worker. He was in Europe. This is a few years ago. And he was working on the site, and he stepped on a plank, and all of a sudden, this big nail went right through his boot, right through all the way. And it was like he looked down and he was just in agony. I mean, he was screaming and yelling, and everybody around him is saying, "Oh my God." So they got him rushed to the hospital, and so at the hospital they sedated him, and then they started the procedure of removing the nail and taking his boot off. And guess what happened? The nail went right in between his toe. So it never severed. It just went right in between. But because he knew of the hazards of his work, and because he knew that it could cause great pain, and seeing it, well, there's evidence. I must be in pain. And the brain is this miraculous part of us. It wants to keep us safe. And so it creates the pain to keep us safe. That happens when we're injured. But here's an incident where he wasn't injured, but the evidence was there. He should have been injured, and everybody around him. So all his colleagues, all his coworkers, they were just like, they were all agitated too. They were in agony as well. So that added to it. And so that's one example of how how our brains react in pain when not necessarily needing to. And another is phantom pain. So if people have had a certain limb removed, and their hand may still be in pain for years and years, and that can happen to about 70% of the people that have had a limb removed or part of their body removed. So there's another example. So it's now really recognized that the pain centers are in the brain, not in your body. So it's about learning how to change the brain. And we do that through a variety of modalities. My Iris Yoga Nidra, that was one of them. some movement practices could be also helpful. But it's also helping people to really learn that this is that we may have an overprotective nervous system, and that it's not necessarily tissue damage. And over time, we can learn to heal that. And I have one example.
Well, Jackie, we're nearing the end of our show,
Okay.
and I want to thank you for all this fabulous information. And very quickly, just repeat where people can get in touch with you and do all these wonderful things. They don't have to be in pain. Here's the point. You can be in harmony with yourself. You do not need to be in pain. So quickly give your contact information one more time, please.
Okay, my website is harmoniouspathways.com, and I would love to hear from any of you.
Well, I had a wonderful time. Everything you're doing is so meaningful, and I really hope that many people take advantage of the opportunity of working with you. So thank you all for tuning in, and please join me the first and third Thursday of each month, 5 p.m. Pacific and 8 p.m. Eastern. Next time on August 13th, join me for my show, Direct from the Akashic Records, an hour where the soul speaks, with live consultations for listeners to tune into. See you then. Thank you for being with us today. I'm your host, Elena Lieberman. Be sure to tune in every first and third Thursday night at 5 p.m. Pacific and 8 p.m. Eastern on Transformation Talk Radio for more Passion of the Soul, where we connect with brilliant creators, artists, healers, and visionaries who have walked miraculous journeys. Continue the experience at dynamicmanifestation.com. And if today moved you, share the show and like us on social media so others can awaken their authentic potential too. Until next time, listen deeply, trust your innermost wisdom, and live your passion of the soul.